I just got off the phone with Tom McCarter from the Budget Committee. This thing with Favre screwed up, Pooch.
What? They can't lump us in with that fucking Martian.
We're all in the same boat, fellas.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Know what time it is. 96.1 FM, Dragon in the Afternoon on Styling Radio. And we got us, man, this weekend was off the chain, people. We've got stories. We even got a special guest, very special guest. If you didn't notice right off the bat, that intro, we have the queen, the one and only, the ball-busting SPL bitch herself, Stephanie Thorpe in the house. The queen of many persuasions.
Oh, yeah.
So what's up, Stephanie?
Hello. Not much.
Yeah, she's a little nervous about coming on the radio, but yeah, it's you're live. You're live on the radio on 96.1. So here's the story, people. Stephanie is an OG with our car club mini persuasions. Okay.
Yep.
And several years ago, I was told Stephanie passed away. And a few years ago, some people reached out to me and they said that they had a mini persuasion truck and they'd like to see it go home. So I was like, nah, I don't think that's a mini P truck, you know. So I went over and looked at it, but the girl who owned it knew me from back in the day. And so I shined the light up through the back glass and I could see the M. And this story is kind of crazy because of this truck is kind of how me and Stephanie met.
Yep.
So, when me and Stephanie started hanging out, she had a Blazer with 1610s in it. This is, in fact, the Stephanie that we set off the building alarm at Famous Bar at the mall. This truck...
I set off a lot of alarms with that thing.
Yeah, this truck was so intensely loud back in the day. And she competed, you know, pro SPL, all kinds of stuff, you know. Before Arma Gates, there was Stephanie.
Yep.
Okay.
And a lot of people know Stephanie from working at the Sound Room in Missouri. You know, she was the girl you went to make your shit fucking boom.
Yep.
If you want to break glass and rattle the rearview mirror off, that was your girl.
Oh, yeah.
So here's kind of the story. In high school, I had, custom mini trucks, had a 62 Impala and stuff. And Jason Nanny, which we call Putin Nanny, said, hey, man, I'd see him at the car and truck shows, right? And he'd be parked with all these other mini trucks, right? And he's like, yeah, man, I mean, they'd love to have you as a member, man. You ought to come over to a club meeting sometime. And I lived in Illinois. He lived in the same town as me. And instead of driving my truck over, I rode with him. And I met the mini persuasion crew, and Stephanie was there and great people. And then the next weekend I brought my truck. And of course, like anything else in my life, my dick kind of controls more than my mouth. Me and Stephanie started hanging out and had a relationship for a while. Yeah. So not much changed, And um, yeah, it was real interesting because we were laughing over the weekend, and I got voted in the club pretty quick, people. And I feel I was a likable guy, you know. I mean, we all got along. We went to shows together. Um, the night that they voted me in, they asked me if I'd step outside. And right before I went outside, because we were at Stephanie, what was it? It wasn't Pantera's. It was Hot Shots.
I thought it was at Hooters then, but it may have been Hot Shots.
No, you might be right. I think it was Hooters. And I walked outside, but before I opened the door, Joe said, "Has anybody got a problem with Isaac joining the club?" And Stephanie, right off the bat, was like, "I." And he goes,
So if anybody wanted you in, and I said yes, and they're like, "Oh, you don't count."
Yeah, you don't count because you're fucking the guy." You know what I'm saying? So it was, you know, but I got voted in. I come back. They kind of gave me a little bit of shit, like, you know, you got to wait. But then I got my sticker, temporary sticker. And they didn't have a t-shirt for me, but they had a hoodie my size. Because back then in the car club, if you wanted, there was swag. I mean, there really was. I mean, but you had to
We had jackets, we had hoodies, we had shirts, we had everything.
Everything, but you'd have to pay, and you'd have to wait for it to be made, and it might take a few weeks. Well, I wore an extra large, and just like I do today. And I guess they had it set up, instead of giving me my free t-shirt, they gave me a hoodie. And that was so fucking cool, man. I mean, there's so many stories and adventures that I've said on this afternoon show, or even the morning show, that involves many persuasions. And nowadays, I am many persuasions. I'm the president of the club. You know, we're doing more and more stuff. But let's get back to the story at hand. I was told by several people Stephanie had passed away. Stephanie had health issues when we were younger, okay? And so when I heard, I was pretty upset about it, you know? I mean, she was an influence. I mean, you could say bad influence or good influence. She was a good time, man. I mean, fuck, man, there's so many stories that we can tell you guys today.
A bad influence. I mean,
you know,
maybe a little bit, but not that bad.
Oh, we had such good times, man. You know, just like Leslie got me my first fake ID, she got me my first brick phone because I had no credit, but she knew people, and she's like, "Go to this place and tell them I sent you, and they know you're coming, but you're gonna have to give them a down." And fuck, I walked right out of that motherfucker with a brick phone. You know what I'm saying? So, but what's crazy is like I said, I got some people message me about a mini persuasion truck. I went over there, and come to find out, it was indeed Steph's first truck. She had, and she had a black S10, had a tilt bed on it, and then, well, I guess one night they got drunk and decided to fucking sawzall the whole back with a drill and all kinds of stuff, you know, and make it a walkthrough.
My God, they use a sawzall on a drill?
It wasn't loud enough. There wasn't more room for subs, so we put a shell. I had already had a shell on it anyway. And I decided, let's just make it a walkthrough. Let's just cut this wall out. We don't need it.
Yeah.
But, we had some problems. It was a holiday weekend. It was late. All the stores were already closed. We had 2 sawzall blades. We went through the first one on the first vertical cut. And it's like, how are we going to do this with just one more blade? So I grabbed a drill and just started making a bunch of holes.
It was crazy.
So we didn't have to cut as much.
That was one of the first things I looked at when I looked at this truck. And I could see the drill marks that had no bearing on where they should have been.
Correct.
Yeah. Just pull the trim back. And so I buy this truck thinking that my friend had passed away. And I have said, you know, we call the truck Stephanie. You know what I'm saying? And we had, our plan was to restore the truck with a little modern twist, but basically the way it was, you know what I'm saying? Because she sold that truck to George Rothmeyer that went to high school with me, and I come out of senior gym class and there's Stephanie's truck, but Stephanie lives in Missouri right across the river. I'm like, the fuck is she doing at my school? You know? And so, make a long story short, she sold that to get the Blazer, you know what I'm saying? And so what's interesting is, so I'm going to restore this truck in her memory. And last week, an old car club member that still has a Tandem axle Truckarosa truck posted, which he doesn't really post on social media much, right?
No, he doesn't.
And everybody's commenting on it. And he said, I used to be in a club back in the 80s and 90s called Mini Persuasions, if anybody's ever heard of it. And I said, yeah, I've heard of it. And that was a Mini Persuasions truck. So me and this individual, we messaged back and forth because he was in the club when I was. And I told him I had Stephanie's original truck. And he was like, really? He goes, yeah, Stephanie and her daughter have Volkswagen Bugs and they go to car shows. And I'm like, so I don't even mention about her passing away. And so now I'm looking like...
In the back of your head, you're going, what?
Yeah, so now... Because he said that she used to be on my old Facebook. She was on my friends. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's on fucking... Maybe she's on here. There's so many Stephanie fucking Thorpes on fucking Facebook, it's unreal.
Right.
But I'm looking for one that's got a Volkswagen on it. And I found this page, so I messaged her and I said, is this the Stephanie that was in Mini Persuasions? And she goes, yes. And I said, hey, it's Izzy, call me. And she's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, you're fucking alive.
And I was like, I was never dead.
So, it's so fucking crazy.
Who said I was dead?
Yeah, so, like, she did explain that she got sick several years ago.
Yeah.
And then quit talking to everybody. So maybe that's how that rumor started.
I'm guessing so, because, I lost my phone book, I lost everybody's phone number, and just didn't have any way to contact people.
Yeah, so we talked for a couple hours on the phone, and I told her, look, we're doing a new shop and stuff. We had issues with the other shop. I'm actually moving your truck today. By the way, you got room at your house? And she's like, yeah, I got a whole thing. I got a woodworking shop. I could build a speaker box and all this. I'm like, where do you live? so no shit.
Motherfucker's on the trailer already.
well, no shit. Within a few hours, this bitch was going to her house.
Yep.
Like, you can't even make this up. She's like, well, you don't have to bring it today. You can bring it tomorrow. I'm like, oh, no, girl. We doing this shit today. And then she's so nice that on the way over there, we were talking on the phone, and she's like, hey, I'll order, if you eaten, I'll order pizza. And I'm like, yeah, that's some Mini Persuasion shit right there. You got some beer, And we got there. She was excited to see the truck. And
you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't changed much, running 90 miles an hour, but the thing is, I was trying not to tear up her driveway with my low-ass trailer, and it finally stopped where it did, and we were like, well, we're going to unload this bitch right here. So we unloaded it, and the big thing was, I wish we would have had a film crew. I really wish, because watching her look at certain aspects of the truck, and it's like, and then like, damn, they've repainted this thing so many times, it's unreal. And, what's interesting about this truck was, this was her first mini truck,
Yeah, I was 18 when I bought it. I was still in high school.
And nobody believed it was a girl that owned it.
No. Because I only went to school half days. Because I worked half days. I had a work study. And I never showed up on time for school, so I always showed up late. So everybody would see the truck out there, but would never actually see me driving it.
Right.
It wasn't until the very last week of school when I got center stuck on a speed bump.
Oh, you got high centered. Oh.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Even going over it sideways, I was sideways center stuck.
Oh, she was really stuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But luckily, I had a bodyguard that was on the football team, and they were just ending practice. So about 4 or 5 guys came and lifted up my truck and walked it over.
Yep.
It's
And that's whenever I found out that it was mine.
yeah, and it's crazy because you know, she's got pictures of this truck, which we will post some of these up, okay? When I was bringing her truck back, and I was on 255, and as wild as it is, I hadn't listened to the radio all day, and all of a sudden I turned on the radio. I just got a phone with her. She's going to order a pizza. I turned on the fucking radio, and it was Bon Jovi, I'll Be There For You. And I'm like, I can't even fucking make this up. I got to record this and send it to her. And she goes, now this is just getting creepy. I'm like, I know, right? So we unload the truck. Needless to say, we didn't order pizza, but we end up going to Applebee's and kicking it and stuff, you know. There's what, 3 people that knew about this weekend. Everybody's texting me, and I wouldn't tell everybody where I was. And yeah, I was kicking it with Steph and looking at pictures and catching up. You know, it's amazing. You know, she's got a daughter now.
I mean, it's been, what,
30
31 years is what I figured.
About 31 years since we've actually seen each other.
Yeah.
You know, so, and the big thing was...
She died and you died. And...
Well, yeah, I told her the story about how I died. You know, like, you guys still give me shit, man. I'm eating with a dead man. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, so, yeah, apparently, I supposedly died. We've told that story on the radio before. But, but what's crazy is, like, looking at the pictures that she had of the original truck. What's crazy is I've held these pictures at her mom and dad's house 30-something years ago, 32 years ago, 33 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, you know. And I didn't go looking for this truck. This truck found me. You know, they say things happen for a reason. There was a reason why one of our car club members had posted this picture, and me and him got talking. And I'm like, what do you mean she's still alive? You know, it's like, it's just crazy. And it's like the same old Steph, you know what I'm saying? And we sat down over the weekend and had a lot of long talks about many persuasions. And
oh, yeah.
I bet.
There's going to be some changes, guys. You know, Steph's back on the case. She, you know, she got the original truck back. I mean, fuck, in the same day. Like, I bet yesterday you did not think you were going to get a call like this. She's like, fuck no. Like,
yeah.
Yesterday was a very strange day for me. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, it was just very odd, you know, and it's like, you know, I thought it was funny. She's like, well, you can wait till tomorrow to bring me the truck. I was like, fuck no, we're getting this shit done today, man. This makes the story. Like, haven't talked to you in 30-something fucking years. And by the way, I got your truck. I'm bringing it to you. Like, fucking.
Yep.
And what's crazy is she has a full wood shop at her house to do speaker boxes.
I'm still building sub boxes and still doing stereo stuff. Just not, you know,
you're not
as often, but I'm still doing it.
Yeah, and she's got a Volkswagen Bug, which, by the way, people, she's always been fascinated with Volkswagens. I'm not a Volkswagen guy. I rode in this thing. We went to Applebee's. I don't know where the fuck she got this car. It's got the smoothest shutting doors I've ever seen in my life, and it rides so nice. And people, the stereo system in it is SQ'd like a motherfucker. I'm telling you, you would think. You know that video, Steph, you know the video where the guy's sitting in the chair and the RCA commercial.
Yeah.
It's like and her Bug is like that, dude. I mean, it's so crystal clear. But what do you expect? I mean, she's the queen of SPL, you know. You were the first woman to break records with Iesca.
Well, I was the first woman to ever compete pro SPL for Iesca at Spring Break Nationals.
Yeah, in Florida, yeah.
Yeah, I was the first woman to ever enter that class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was before Arma Gates.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, because I met Arma Gates through you. And she was a big fucking deal. But she had all the backing. That's the thing, you know?
Right.
Yeah, where I did all this myself. I wired my Blazer. I wired the entire Blazer by myself with no help.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And that Blazer was insane.
Well, we helped. I mean, we're just like, yeah, you're doing a good job, Steph.
Well,
I can hang this wire. Here you go.
like, the interesting thing about it is when I was designing it up, I was actually on the phone with, the president of JL Audio, the original designer of JL Audio Subs, saying, will this work? And going over the wiring with him.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a long project. It took me over a year to build that system and build that truck.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and
there was a total of 32 speakers, all ran off of 2 amplifiers.
Damn.
That they said that couldn't be done.
Yeah. 1610s off of 1 2-channel amplifier.
Oh, fuck. It breaks like a bitch.
But that's what kept everything so uniform and kept, got my SPL higher. Because we didn't have to worry about one amp having a delay from another one. It was all ran off of 1 amp.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember I used to drive Steph's truck around, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember she never let anybody drive her truck. Okay.
There was 2 people who ever drove my truck, and you was one of them.
Yeah, and she would always play. She'd always be the DJ, play the fucking radio, right? I mean, I'm trying not to fucking tear her truck up and fucking because the thing was like an inch off the ground. Matter of fact, just so you guys know, her truck, was lowered in the front. The rear had a lift kit on it. The speaker box was so heavy it evened it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, but it was funny. She said when I took the speaker box out, the whole fucking truck looked like a lowrider.
I bet.
Well, the back end had a 3-inch lift on it, and the front end was lowered 4.5 inches.
And it's that level.
And it sat level.
And the frame.
I could not roll over a pack of cigarettes without crushing them.
Yeah, the fucking frame was about 3/4 of an inch to an inch off the ground. And the thing is, that truck drove so nice down the highway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really drove nice.
The weight.
Yeah, because of the weight.
All the weight. Yeah.
But here's my point. There were certain things playing with her radio that I was told straight up not to do, or we will bow the roof and throw the windshield across the parking lot. And I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna fuck with the radio.
No.
Well, I could bounce a full 2-liter off of the roof, and I even had 2 layers of Dynamat on that roof.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I could still bounce a full 2-liter off the roof with 1 beat, just all the way off.
And what's crazy is when I told Stephanie I had her truck, she knew I knew where the Blazer was. And I've been trying to buy that motherfucker for like 25 fucking years, and the guy won't sell it to me. And
Is it still out and about, or is it apart too?
No, it's in Pontoon Beach. The guy drives it to work every day.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna go with you. We're gonna buy that truck.
Yeah. Well, we got the one back. Now we just need the other one.
Yep.
So, but on that note, guys, we're gonna be talking more with Steph. We're gonna be right back after this. You're listening to 96.1 FM, Dragon in the Afternoon. We'll be right back.